Hey, and welcome back to another edition of Cooking a la Quarantine. I'm Jason, and today we're going to make Bulgogi. Now, what in the world is Bulgogi? Well, Bulgogi is Korean barbecue beef, and I may be pronouncing it wrong, and I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong, but a friend of mine, Dr. Randy Steele, when I moved out here, he got me into masonry and got me into some other stuff. And he said, you got to try kimchi and you've got to try bulgogi. And you're only so far from Raleigh and this, that, and the other thing. I said, well, what in the world is bulgogi? He said, it's Korean barbecue beef. I said, I like beef. I like barbecue. It's got a lot of soy sauce in it. Yeah, why not? So we've gone to the Asian market in Raleigh a couple of times, and if you've never been to an Asian market, it is wild. There is some really cool stuff, and there is more ramen noodles and instant noodles than you could possibly imagine. So anyway, bulgogi is basically chopped up beef, and if you remember that sirloin that we got at Micro Summit Processing right off the cow, this is the other sirloin. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to make up the marinade. So first of all, I put the water in. Yes, this really is water. And rice wine vinegar. I'm using this as a measure. So what? It's plastic. Alright, so I got my rice wine vinegar. I've got my low sodium soy sauce. I also use aminos. Nikki Pollard got me in on the aminos, and those are really good too. And then we've got some sesame oil. And I'm going to get some of this local honey here. This guy's right down the road. I've yet to talk to him in person, but this stuff's pretty good. So we're going to, instead of using Asian pear, I'm going to use some honey. And this isn't anything crazy. I mean, the only crazy thing we're going to do is put some sesame seeds in there, and who cares? It's something different. You know, you get out of your comfort zone, and I open this up for the first time, and I threw it, sure, why not? Alright, now I'm going to get some of the vampire repellent and some fresh cracked pepper here. But we'll be right back because my dog's about to go nuts. Now, here's an interesting factoid from your favorite history teacher. Did you know Koreans eat more garlic per person than anywhere else in the world? It's pretty interesting. So anyway, we're going to mix this up. Kind of like you're whisking up eggs. You know, you just mix it up. And if I have to make more, I have to make more. I really don't care. I mean, like I've said before, I'm not the trained chef. Yeah, I'm going to make just a smidgen more because I've got all that leftover crap here. So a little bit more sesame oil. A little bit more low sodium soy sauce. And little bit more rice wine. I don't want to add any more honey because I really don't like, I like gummy bears, but that's about it as far as sweet stuff goes. Now I say that, and I just got done making some Bigfoot monster cookies that are unreal, and it comes from a friend of mine, and we'll show that video in a couple of days with a couple of kids. So I'm just gonna doggone it, maybe add some water, and we'll just scrape this out. Why not? So anyway, we're scraping this out. I'm going to use my handy dandy cheater marinator, and tomorrow we're going to make some bulgogi over some noodles. I've got authentic rice noodles, and we'll go from there. Hey, we're back, and this has been marinating. We're making bulgogi, so what this is, soy sauce, water, local honey, rice wine vinegar, minced garlic, sesame seed oil, and pepper. Now I added a little bit more honey because we don't have the Asian pear, which is pretty much the pear that you eat, but I haven't gotten any pears lately, so it is what it is. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this pan on real high. I'm going to cook the beef. I'm going to take the beef out. I'm going to add the broccoli, cook the broccoli, cook this medley of vegetables, which is basically our squash, our onions, and our, that's it. And a little bit of garlic from Rob's Produce. Then I'm going to boil up some ramen noodles. And folks, this isn't the crap that we used to eat in college. And I occasionally still do eat the crappy stuff. But this is the good Japanese ramen that I got at the Asian store in Raleigh. Again, branch out a little bit. Check out the Asian stores. They have some really cool stuff. We'll be right back. Alright, she's hot and ready to go. So what I'm going to do is, this was one of the sirloins that I got from Micro Summit. And the reason I'm doing this is so it actually gets a little fried. It doesn't get steamed. That's not water, that's sesame oil. We'll be right back. Now somebody's probably sitting there going, well, I would use a wok, or I would do this, or I would do that. Well, I don't have a wok. This is what I've got. This is what I'm using. That's the whole point. Now, I'm going to throw the broccoli in here, and we'll be right back. Now the reason I'm doing this is because broccoli takes a little bit longer to cook. And I'm trying to do it on high heat so it crisps up a little bit. All right. So the beef is in here. I turned it off, let it mix up for a little bit. Then when the noodles are ready, we mix it all together. Yeah, it looks like a lot of stuff, but it looks pretty good, and I wish we had smell-o-vision, because it smells fantabulous. You might want to write that down. That's an apism. All right, there goes our Japanese ramen. I'm going to crank this up. I'm going to add a little soy sauce. And hopefully, we'll have some bulgogi a la quarantine. And I send out this disclaimer. Anybody that has actually had real bulgogi and I'm doing a bastardized version, I apologize immensely. Little Ronnie, you probably had some of the best food in the world when you were stationed in Korea, but I guarantee you don't remember half of it. Hopefully I'll see you soon. We'll be right back. Hey guys, this dish, my buddy Dr. Steele, he kind of got me into it, but the neighbors across the street, Shannon and Leon, who, believe it or not, actually got married in the middle of this crapola that's going on. Shannon works at the hospital, and Leon, he has his own business here. And when stuff starts to calm down a little bit, I might not think twice about going down there and throwing a couple axes around, as frustrating as it is. But anyway, they always post going to Asian restaurants, so I figured I'd try this out on my own. Thanks for the inspiration. What do we got? We got some broccoli, some real ramen. It's not bad. I was so worried I was going to turn this into mush. Now let's try the important stuff. The meat of the issue, if you were. Look at that. Just as tender as can be, marinated, pulled right off. Very good. I'm going to do this again. And you know what? When all this stuff calms down, I'm going to get some real bulgogi, and we'll go from there. Listen, remember, be kind, be excellent to each other, and I'll see you soon. Have a great night.